Well, we have had vaccines for more than a year now in the fight against the coronavirus. But prior to the rollout, some health experts voiced concerns that some communities of color would need extra support when it came to accessibility. We spoke to Executive Director of the Boston Public Health Commission, Dr. Bisola Ojikutu, about what contributes to those concerns and the progress that has been made.
So a major concern of mine and many others is mistrust. And, mistrust is something that's a manifestation of years, decades, centuries of oppression and structural racism, and certainly present in many Black and Brown communities. And I think that it's been really important for us to think about and work through ways to address mistrust. And that's been very difficult. But what the commission has done is really try to regain a sense of trust within, communities of color, particularly using trusted messengers, putting people out there sort of on the front lines who look like and who speak the same language as community members. I think that's been an important part of the response. Certainly, I think partnering with communities, working very closely with community members, community organizations to actually implement the response, set up vaccination clinics, do testing has been a critical piece of this, and really letting them lead the way, and I think that's really an important kind of shifting the power dynamic so that we aren't, the institution isn't doing everything. That it's actually, people from communities who are more vulnerable who are actually leading the response. I think the other issue is access. Because even if you've overcome issues related to mistrust, which is obviously a challenge, you want to make sure that access is equitable. And that's meant, bringing vaccines to people, directly into communities, to places where they can definitely access the vaccines. And I think that's also, as simple sometimes as like expanding clinic hours and making sure that, there's vaccination available in the evenings. So it's really those two things, trying to make sure that people trust institutions that have not proven trustworthy in the past, so trying to overcome those barriers, and then making sure that access is equitable.
Well, Massachusetts Attorney General Maura Healey has filed a report highlighting some long-standing barriers in the state and the disproportionate toll the pandemic has taken on communities of color. The federal government has identified equity as a priority and has launched a range of initiatives to address disparities.